What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to rank all of Mass Effect 2's loyalty missions. I was originally going to do a video on one of these missions. I'll reveal that when we get to it, but then I had the idea, hey, let's do something different. Why not make a ranking list? And here we are. Now this list is totally subjective. It's my own opinion, but if you guys want to put your list in the comments, you go right ahead. But before we get into the video, if you guys could subscribe to the channel, I'll greatly appreciate it. We're trying to reach 300 subs on the channel. I think that's a goal that we can accomplish. Now let's go ahead and start ranking these missions. At number 12, we have Zaid, the Price of Revenge. When you first meet Zaid, he mentions that he picked up a mission a while back. The mission is liberating a refinery from the Blue Suns led by a man named Vito, and he wants our help to do so, which will take you to the planet Zoria. Along the way, you learn that Zaid helped create the Blue Suns alongside Vito, but 20 years ago, Vito betrayed him and tried to kill him, but he somehow failed. You see, he shot Zaid in the head at close range, while there were 6 mercs holding him down, and he still didn't die. And Zaid's been trying to hunt him down ever since. When you first meet Vito, Zaid will shoot out some of the refinery's pipes to cause explosions in hopes of killing him, which sets the whole place on fire, trapping the workers inside. Everything that happens after this is based on decisions that you choose, which sums up the name of the mission perfectly. This mission is fine, but it's not as interesting as other ones on the list. Not to mention that you can lock yourself out against Zaid's loyalty if you come here too early. At number 11, we have Garros Eye for an Eye. When you find Garros on Omega, he's been cornered by all of the major gangs. This is because he was betrayed by one of his own men, Sidonus, who is all but dropped off the grid. This takes you to the Citadel, where you need to find a man named Fade who helped him disappear. By getting the Fade, you can wear Sidonus out. This mission is a revenge-based one like Zaid's, but what places this higher is that you get to fight against Harkin, who just happens to be Fade himself. He's now a Blue Suns member, which ain't too surprising. The combat is alright, the highlight is fighting 2 heavy mechs, which is a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, this felt like a slightly better version of Zaid's mission. But I love that you get to stick with the Harkin, and Garros gets to confront his ex-teammate, which needed to happen. I put Thane Sins of the Father at number 10. Thane needs our help to find his son Koyat, who has taken the job as a hitman. His target is Joram Talid, a Turian politician. The man who ordered it was a gang leader named Elias Kellum. You have to interrogate him to get what you need. What makes this mission unique is that there's no combat, instead you're just following Talid around. That brings this mission down a bit, but it finds other ways to be compelling. The interrogation scene is unique in the series, and Thane trying to repair his relationship with Koyat makes this mission stand out despite the lack of action. At number 9, we have Miranda the Prodigal. Miranda asks you to help rescue her sister Oriana before their father gets his hands on her. She ran away with Oriana when she was a baby to keep her from being corrupted by their father. He's been looking for Oriana ever since, and he's hired Eclipse Mercs to make sure that Oriana is returned to him. She brings in an old friend Niket to help, but unfortunately her father gets to him and he turns on her. After the revelation, it becomes a race against time to save Oriana. This mission is interesting because it shows a different side of Miranda that you don't typically see. You see an older sister trying to protect her younger sister from their controlling father. Now there could be a debate on whether she should have taken her. I think it was for the best, but that's just me. I think this is a good spot because while the story is good, it doesn't stand out as the other missions left on the list. But jeez, isn't y'all a cold-hearted. Number 8 is Samara the Anayashi. This mission is less about your combat skills and more about your ability to be as enticing as possible. Samara needs your help tracking down her serial killer Daramorph, which will lead you to Omega. She is an Yakshi, an Asari who was born with a genetic condition where whenever they mate with somebody, they burn out the other person's nervous system, which causes brain hemorrhaging. Yeah, this broad needs to be stopped. She's already claimed the victim on Omega by the time you get there. However, she is very cagey, so you have to lure her into a trap by playing to her interests. You have to choose the right options or she'll leave and you won't be able to find her. Once you're invited to her place, you and Samara will spring the trap on her. The lack of action would knock it further down the list, but the story is strong enough to land it here. We hear Samara's story and learn about the Anayashi and why she needs to find Morton. That's all the motivation you need to help. Jacob the Gift of Greatness comes in at number 7, and this is the mission that led to me creating the list. Honestly, this is one of the more messed up missions in the series. Jacob's father was stationed on a ship called the Hugo Gernsback that went missing about 10 years ago. Jacob thought he was dead himself until his father's ship sent out a distress call reporting a crash and requesting a rescue. The ship crashed on the planet way out in the Terminus systems. Jacob had his doubts that his dad was alive. I mean, it has been 10 years after all. And once you get there, you find out not only is Ronald Taylor alive, but you discover that some sick shit has been going on. Peep this, y'all. Ronald gave the women to the officers like pets. He had his mechs target the crew members that tried to mutiny and kept the shit food for himself and other officers. The other crew members had to find food on the planet, but most of the life on Aya is toxic, and eating it causes neural decay. That's why the people here sound like they've evolved 50,000 years.
You have his face, but you fight his machines. You might... I forget how to read, but this was the start. What he promised, and what they did to us. We need the sky. Take us back to the sky.
You have to fight through the male crew members who have rebelled against Ronald, a lot of mechs, and the bodyguards that he trained. After that, you can confront Captain Taylor about what happened here. From here, you can decide on what to do with him. I remember when I first played through this, finding clues, seeing the crew members basically act like cave people, and then the big reveal of what led to all this. It was done so well. Captain Taylor, I hope you go away for a long time. I was going to put this higher, but honestly this mission and the next two are interchangeable. Coming in at number 6 is Kasumi, Stealing Memory. Her mission is about getting her deceased lover's grey box back from a weapons dealer named Donovan Hawk. The grey box is located within Hawk's underground vault, but the real kicker is that it's locked behind a top-notch security system. You have to pull off a mini heist to open the vault and steal the grey box back. However, Hawk figures out that you made it into the vault and you have to fight through the mercs to escape the underground weapons bunker. This all accumulates into a solid fight against Hawk. This mission was executed well, from the heist to the fight in the bunker, although I hated fighting the heavy mech down there. Make sure to bring some crowd control weapons. But the message KG left for Kasumi tugs at the heartstrings, y'all. It was nice to see her get some revenge and some closure. At number 5, we have Jack Subject Zero. Jack is a very unhinged person, but when you get to know her, you start to understand why she turned out this way. Her loyalty mission is where you learn a lot about her past. You travel back to the now abandoned service facility on Pragia where she was raised. During the visit, Jack tells you all about the abuse and torment she suffered there, all while learning she wasn't the only one who had it bad. There is some combat here, but it's not important to the mission. It turns out that another subject was also drawn back to the place, and he wants to restart the facility, believing that the researchers had good reasons for what they did, but we can't have that. You can choose his fate, whether he lives or dies, but I personally tend to spare him for Jack's sake. This mission is more of an emotional one, as you help Jack revisit her past, but also come to terms with it so she can finally move on. You also get to see a huge ass explosion, which is always good. As a warning, do not complete Jack and Miranda's missions too early. Doing so will force you to choose one to support during their confrontation, which will lock you out of getting both of their loyalties, and the one that you didn't choose will probably die during the suicide mission, so be careful of that. At number 4 is Grunt, the Rite of Passage. Grunt has been acting strange lately, and no one knows what to do, so that leads them to the Chunka where they meet our boy Rex, or Reeve if Rex dies. They explain that Grunt is fine, but he's at the age that he needs to take the Rite of Passage. He's basically going through puberty. To complete the rite, you have to survive against Varen, Kilkson, and a Thresher Maw. This mission is the opposite of most loyalty missions, as combat takes center stage here, and the way the Krogan build up the importance of the rite is what makes it a momentous occasion. Not to mention, after the rite, you get to fight a Krogan Battlemaster, which is just the cherry on top of a kick-ass mission. Coming in at number 3 is Morton, Old Blood. Morton has learned that the Blood Pack has captured his former protege, Maywin, and are holding him on Tuchanka, or that's what Morton thought. It turns out that he is voluntarily helping the Krogan find a cure for the genophage, albeit in an unethical way by using live subjects in some of these experiments. But before you get to him, you have to go through Clan Werlock, who worship their leader Gold in a cult-like demeanor. It's strange.
When we cure the genophage, Warlock Gold will rule all Krogan. The Krogan rebellions will become the Krogan. The surviving races will frighten their children with tales of what the Blood Pack did to the Turians. The Asari will scream as their citadel plunges into the sun. We will keep Solarians as slaves and eat their eggs as a delicacy. If you lack the wisdom to flee, then you will be the first of billions to be crushed beneath our might. For Warlock Gold, attack!
After confronting Maywin, you get the option of whether to keep or destroy the scientist's data on a genetic mutation. I consider this to be one of the more important loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2, since it affects some of the events in Mass Effect 3, and it's the beginning of a redemption arc for Morton. At number 2 is Legion, A House Divided. The objective of this mission is to infiltrate the Heretic Station and destroy a Reaper virus, which when uploaded will compel normal Geth to join them in the war against organic life. While you're on the station, Legion gives you some insight on the Geth and why they split from the Heretics. At the end of the quest, you're to choose between destroying the Heretics or rewriting them in one of the hardest decisions in the series. The combat in the level is pretty good. There's a strategy-based combat section where there are turrets that Legion can control to defend your position from waves of Heretics. But what truly makes this level great is the story, as you're given a new perspective on the Geth as a species rather than just an enemy. A species with trouble of their own. Your choice on whether to destroy the Heretics or to rewrite them plays into how much support you get from either side in Mass Effect 3, so it's up to you to decide on what you think is the best option.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
And lastly, y'all, coming in at number 1 is Tally Treason. Tally has been charged with treason by the Admiralty Board, and now she must go back to the flotilla to stand trial for these charges. The trial gives you a look at Korgan laws and politics, and your shepherd has to be in the middle of it as Tally's defense counselor. Tally is charged with bringing active Geth to the fleet, which is a huge no-no. Come to find out, Tally sent Geth parts to her father, but they were deactivated samples. However, the Admiralty Board reveals that his lab ship was overrun by Geth. This leads to a break in the trial as the ship needs to be cleared out as it poses a threat to the migrant fleet, and Tally needs to find her father. And she finds him alright. It's a very sad scene. When you arrive back at the flotilla, you must decide whether to prove Tally's innocence by incriminating her father or using another strategy. Treason has everything that you want in a Mass Effect mission. You get to experience other races' politics, you have the emotional moments, and the sweet combat. It has all of these qualities and they're executed perfectly, and that's why it's the best loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2. Well, that ends this video, guys. It was fun going back and revisiting all of these missions and then trying to rank them. How would you guys rank these missions? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
DJ Sonic 3.